What's up, everybody? Welcome to the No Scrubs Allowed pod. Seal, how you doing, bud?
Doing good, man. Wishing my microphone would figure out what it wants to do and where it wants to go. But other than that, everything's peachy over here.
Good deal, man. Yeah. So before we get started, obviously we have some football to talk about. But do you think they should end or at least pause the NBA season? Talk about
Yeah,
that for a second, because this thing is getting out of hand. Every team is just. The Celtics had, I think, like 7 guys out today, like important people.
yeah, it's getting ridiculous. And they came out last weekend with a new mandate, and apparently they're meeting again to try to go over everything again. But they tried to. I understand them trying to keep as many teams rolling as they can, but eventually
Right.
we're going to get to where something's going to have to be postponed or somebody's going to have to halt if the Celtics and those teams keep getting postponed and pulled out, or then we're eventually going to have these teams like the 76ers who potentially are running Dwight at point because they only have 7 people. And then you have the 70, who was the other team that didn't have to play? The Heat,
The Heat
because
didn't have to play.
they
Yeah.
didn't have 8 players. They only had 7, but so did the 76ers. But the 76ers had to play and the Heat don't. But we are going to have these teams that the Celtics are going to have 4 or 5 postponed games. And then you're going to have the 76ers who are over here playing 3 or 4 games with 7 teams, probably all in losses. And they're going to be pissed off because they could end up being the 7th seed, having to face the 2 seed, and
Yeah.
all this bullshit could happen. So, yeah, if I'm Adam Silver, it hurts the pockets heavily to take a 10, 14-day break, but it's definitely what's needed right now to make sure the league does finish.
Yeah, and they need to just do kind of what soccer did, where it said, listen, everybody's not going to play the same amount of games. That's just the fact of the matter. We're doing win percentages, so try to win your games, and we can't just do the most wins or whatever. Because, yeah, some teams are going to get hit harder than the others, and it's really not fair if it's – I saw it was like Kemba Walker, some important people, which Kemba, I guess, has been out this whole time. But it's just like they can't miss these dudes, and then another team that's playing with everybody gets to beat them. And if it's a shitty team like Charlotte or somebody, it's
I
not fair.
am I am liking, though, tonight the Cavs lost. I hate it. We were down 1 at the half, come out in the third quarter and let them go on like a 15-2 run. Get it back, go on 13-4. I hate it, but we have 8, 9 people out every fucking game. But I do
Yeah.
like how they have these emergency players that are able to be called up. And at least for the Cavs, Yogi Ferrell, his
Oh,
nickname
nice.
Yogi. I didn't catch his
He's from
actual
Purdue,
name.
I think. It's
Oh,
Yogi
you know
Ferrell.
about him?
That's his name.
Yeah, his name's not Yogi, but when he was a
That's
kid,
what he's always been. Yeah, that's
yeah,
all I
yeah.
know. I
They
don't know.
they said his real name, but I don't know. But yeah, he goes by Yogi Ferrell, and dude was doing work.
He was good in
And
college. He was really good in college. That's the only reason I know of him.
he was doing really, really good tonight. They just signed him today, and he was able to come out. And probably you get 3 or 4 plays that assistant coach sat there and jammed into your brain before all day
Yep.
long. So he probably was able to go out there and not really have to worry too much about being right in the system and just
Yeah.
playing basketball. And he looked really damn good. And that's what I think is going to be really good to come out of this. Maybe these guys who are getting called up from the G League are actually going to have a real shot, not just being the 12th guy on the roster and sitting
Right.
in a warm-up jersey on the edge of the bench. They're actually going to get a shot to play, and I'm really excited to see who these new guys that come out and ball out. We had what's that kid who came out balling for the Lakers, and now he's coming out doing it
Horton
again?
Tucker.
Yeah,
Is that right?
THT. Yeah, he's been out of nowhere and doing his thing, and that's what I really like to see. These guys who've put in the effort, did the work, but somehow their shot didn't come
That guy on the Warriors that's already hit now 2 game winners.
Yeah,
And
Dan Quinn or whatever his name
no,
is.
well, not Dan Quinn. Damian Jones or something. I don't remember his name.
I have no idea who that is.
Dan Quinn is a football coach, right? But either way, he's like some scrub dude that's gotten to play a couple times and has already hit a couple game winners.
But yeah, if I'm Adam Silver, to get back to the question, you have to postpone it. You have to figure out. It worked in the bubble, so
Right.
figure out how you can get the bubble protocols into each home arena, and it's gonna have it will work out to an extent, because then even like the bubble, nobody came in unless they were quarantined. Pizza Man, not
Right.
shit.
Right.
So it's going to be
You
hard
can't really do that.
Yeah, it's really, really hard. You got these people going home to their families and all that stuff. Even on the road, you got the bus driver. Who knows what the bus driver's been doing? If they don't wipe every little thing down, anything can happen. So, I mean, yeah, I would put it on pause, and inevitably in those 10, 14 days that you're talking, try to figure out a way to get another bubble going. And
they should do just not conference, division bubbles. even though that would suck for the Suns because we'd have like the Lakers, the
for us,
Clippers,
too.
the Lakers, the Clippers, the Warriors, which I think we can beat the Warriors. But yeah, we'd have a nice little squad. But then everybody could just bubble around in that, and you just play a whole bunch of those games. But I don't know if that would really work out. But man, dude, so I was watching that 76ers, the beginning of that game, because I saw the whole Dwight Howard might play point guard thing. I was like, oh, I got to check this out. And they had this dude in their starting lineup, didn't even have a jersey on his picture. It looked like a high school, like school picture. He was wearing this polo shirt, and all the other people in the starting lineup picture had their jerseys and everything. He's just in a polo shirt smiling. I was like, they took a school picture of this dude. He doesn't even have a jersey yet. But
that's crazy because even they would usually, like, if there was a quick trade or something, they'd still show you in the
or they'd like CGI that bitch on there or something. But yeah, it was just his shirt. It was hilarious. But it also is leading to what I think is, I don't know if it's because of people being out or not, but this so far we've only played like 10 games, 10 or 11 games. Looks like it's going to be the tightest rookie of the year race that we've had in a long time. Nobody's jumping out. LaMelo, I still not a fan. I still think he shoots like shit. He's shooting like 40% from the field and like 35% from three, but he's doing triple doubles and stuff now. Anthony Edwards actually looks pretty good. And then Tyrese Halliburton is out there saying, how many people talked over me? Oh, or picked somebody else over me? Let's see. And then our guy has only played in 3 games and is nothing. He's not even playing.
Our guy, Coro, he's highlight reel in it. He's probably going to be on top 10 again with the dunk he had earlier. But yeah, he's great, but the best ability is availability, and I think he's only played 4 or 5 games this season so far. Colin Sexton missed another game. But yeah, I agree with you. It's really going to come down to the end of the season, what team is doing better, and like at the end, like kind of like last year. What have you done for me now? Like Zion really almost won it because of recency. And
true.
That's what I feel like it's going to come down to at the end of it. At the end of the day, if LaMelo keeps going with these trip dubs,
and if he gets into the starting lineup, he hasn't even started a game yet.
Yeah,
but he does play 30 minutes a game now, so it's not like they're trying to get him like what's his name from the Clippers, doing that to him. 6 man of the year kid, Lou Williams. Yeah. No, there's this kid though I saw, which I never see Detroit play because Detroit is ass and they're not going to make it on national TV ever. But I saw them play against the 76ers, actually. That was the game that was playing. And they have this rookie, Derek Bay or something like that. Derek Bay, something like that. He's good, man. He was at least good in that game. I was like, this kid's balling. But again, he was playing against a dude with a polo shirt on. But he was looking pretty good. So I was like, man, who is this rookie? And I looked up his stats, and he's shooting like 50% from 3. He's got a weird-ass shot, though, but like Sean Marion looking. But it goes in.
Why are you ragging this dude?
Hey, Sean Marion's my guy, bro.
Bro, you were talking so nice about him, and then you say, even though he's playing against Polo guy, yeah, he's got a Sean Marion shot.
He does have a Sean Marion shot where he shoots from the hip. But
I remember I used to do that.
But hey, it's worked for Sean Marion. He's a great player. But no, it's pretty cool. I like watching it and seeing all these players go off. I feel like this season is so weird, but stats are up in the air. You got Steph Curry dropping 62, and then like 2 nights later, shot 2 for 26 or whatever the hell he shot.
Yeah, man.
You see that? He's shot like 12%. Ugh.
Yeah,
hilarious.
And I don't understand that. Like, anybody can learn to shoot. That's why I'm really starting to feel good about Okoro. Because, like, if they were talking about JaVale McGee, his first 11 seasons, he shot like 3 for 22 from 3. Last year, he shot like 4 for 13. And already in the first 10 games, he shot 3 for 10.
Right.
So anybody can learn to shoot. If you're a professional athlete, it takes a lot of practice, a lot of shots, but you're going to be able to get it down and get that muscle memory to where you can do it. So I'm looking forward to that. But when you have a guy like Steph Curry, that's it. He's saying, yeah, he listens, he watches the memes, he sees all that shit. Do you still think he's a little affected? I felt like that 60-plus point performance would have wiped that out, but
I think he's got that Kevin Durant syndrome, man, where he's always affected. I mean, you saw even back in the day, you guys affected him. Like he just, whatever it is, he gets in his own head, and I'm sure that 60-point game probably helped him out because he had another great game the next time. But then he probably missed like his first 3 or 4 shots in that one bad game. Yeah. And it was just like game over from there. He's not that guy that's just he doesn't have that Kobe mentality where he's like, I'm gonna make it the next time. He just starts to get in his head, and then it just unravels. So
Yeah, and his shot too. There's not too much time, or I don't see any real motion to fix. It's
I
just
feel like guys
there.
like that though, he would have had to. He should have just come out at halftime and like shot and just got his groove back. Because once he gets in a groove, I mean, there's no doubt he's the best shooter of all time, at least at this point. So he just needed to get in his groove because I feel like his muscle memory was off clearly, but he just kept doing it because that's all he could do. So I don't know, but I think he's fine. He'll be fine. But he
I
needs
hope so.
Kelly Oubre to do better. Kelly Oubre's shooting like 16% from three.
Holy shit.
They said that, so the Warriors, I think they said, are 27th in the league in 3-point percentage. And if you take away Kelly Oubre's, they'd be 4th in the league. He's that bad. And he keeps shooting them. That's what it is. Like, he's shot so many, which is awesome for me because fuck Kelly Oubre. But
that was kind of, yeah. He could still be doing a hell of a lot for y'all's team.
I know, but he talked shit after we got rid of him. So whatever. All right, so let's move on to football and let's just briefly give a shout out to Alabama. Did exactly what everyone expected them to do, except maybe Ohio State fans. But I think even Ohio State fans knew that Alabama is who we thought they were. They had the Heisman Trophy winner. They had whatever the QB award is called winner and the running back winner.
Davey O'Brien.
Yeah, Davey O'Brien. And then whatever the running back one is too, the Walter Campbell or whatever. They had all three of those guys, the award winners, and they all showed up. Did you see that Najee Harris play where he got hit, like catching a ball and it popped out? You were working, so I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
He like was doing like a screen pass or a wheel route or something, and he gets it, and he turns and got blown up. The ball comes back up. He like spins around, catches it again, and starts running. It's ridiculous. Those guys are so good.
He is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Especially this year now that he's just playing his foot and going and not doing all that hippity hoppity shit.
Right.
Holy hell. When he gets to the league, he's going to be another scary back out of Bama.
All of them, man.
Dude, speaking of backs out of Bama, did you see Josh Jacobs' forehead from that incident?
I didn't. I saw that he didn't get in trouble. No drunk driving somehow.
It is about like that.
Really?
And they had to cut it. Like it gashed him.
And how does he get no DUI off of this? Just because he's an athlete?
More than likely, yes.
That sucks.
Well, it was alleged, probably. They alleged drinking. They couldn't prove that he was drinking. There was no alcohol on the car. He's a celebrity, so they didn't breathalyze or do a thing on him. So all they could do was...
Hey, big ups to him, man. I mean, not for the drunk driving, but hey, take advantage of the advantages given to you, I guess.
Hell yeah.
I know I would. If they were like, we're not going to charge you, I'd be like, thanks. See you later.
If there was a restaurant that gave me free food every time I went there, I probably wouldn't go to other restaurants that often.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. So I don't fault him for that, but I do fault him for the DUI. Don't be stupid. Or I guess the non-DUI, the alleged DUI. Don't be stupid. But yeah, so let's shift into football. Actually, let's do one more story and then we'll take a quick break. What do you think? We don't really want to get political here. We're not political here, but it is sports related. What do you think about Bill Belichick saying no to the Presidential Medal of Freedom? Did you see that?
I did not. And
so yeah, Donald Trump, and I think I don't know that it's Trump in particular, but the White House, all the government, whatever, they named Bill Belichick as the winner this year of like the Presidential Medal of Freedom, and he declined it. He said he doesn't want to do it after all the recent events that just happened. He doesn't feel.
Why did they give it to him now? Because
I don't know.
Tom Brady and hasn't been free of the playoffs for the first time in forever.
I have no clue what the Presidential Medal of Freedom even means. I don't know any past winners or anything like that. I have no clue why Bill Belichick would have won it, what he's done for the country or whatever. But I just know he turned it down, and I was like, hey, big ups to you. I mean, clearly, like no matter what political side you're on, I feel like we're all in agreement that what happened was really terrible and that stuff shouldn't have happened. And so I'm fine with him declining to accept anything from all that.
I mean, and we're pretty used to in this, the hell do they call him? This term, that most offers from the White House in the sports world are going to be rejected. So is it a surprise? No, but I am ready for it to be over and done with and sports to get back into that. I love it. As a Red Sox fan, I got to see it a couple times. And as a fan, you're probably more so proud that your team's standing there with a trophy with a president. This
Yeah.
shit's cool as hell. It's really, really
Yeah.
cool to see. More so than after the game. I don't know, 2016 finals. Like, I didn't get to see him at the White
I've
House, so
seen
I
it
don't
with
know
my
how that
college
felt.
teams a couple times,
Yeah.
but that's about it.
So I don't know how it feels,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's really cool, and just for them guys who probably a lot of the guys, especially in college, but a lot of pro guys who will never ever have the chance to meet and shake the hand of the president, visit the White House, and hang out and do all the cool shit that you're able to do by winning this chip.
Yeah.
I'm happy for it to get back, and I think it was the NBA that came out and said that they are down to resume their meeting. Like the Lakers are going
Oh,
to
really?
go and visit the White House
Huh.
once the new regime gets all put in and
Right.
stuff and squared away. Which I'm ready for it to start happening again. I would kind of thought it was dumb when it wasn't happening, but I understand. Hey, everybody has their thoughts, and if
Yeah.
they have the mental strength to go through with their thoughts and stand firm on it, kudos to you. But I'm ready for it to go everybody to go back and liken the president. Not liking
Yeah.
the president, but liking to visit and
Yeah.
I like
Just
the tradition of visiting the
liking
White
even
House.
just like the American pride of it and everything, which I know a lot of times in sports people aren't even American anymore. So I'm sure that might factor in as well because there are probably some people that couldn't care less about visiting the White House. But just it makes me proud to be an American to say like, look, our capital, our highest house in the entire country, like allows the sports champions to come hang out and take some pictures and eat some pizza or whatever it is they do. So that's pretty cool. But anyways, back to the major story. Alabama won. Good job.
Woo!
I
Yeah, my
skipped.
perfect
I
picks
skipped
game,
one
man.
too fast.
I would have the little stupid thing.
Yeah.
If I would have put Devontae with 3 touchdowns, I would have perfect picks.
Dang. Well, big ups to Devontae Smith. He's the man. He made Mac Jones look good all year. I'm hoping that Tampa Bay does not get Mac Jones to try that out. But
He's a beast. How do you feel about Nick Saban keeping Jalen Waddle in? Or putting him in the first place?
I'm
It's
fine with
stupid.
it. I'm fine with it. What if it's not Nick Saban? The doctors would have had to tell him he's all right. That he probably asked the kid. He said, "Hey, doctors say you're 90%. What do you think?" And I mean, Nick Saban's not a doctor. He doesn't know. If the doctors tell him that they're fine, then he's fine. I can't fault the coach for that. I could fault the coach for if the doctors say, "Hey, you probably shouldn't play him," and then the kid comes and goes, "I want to play," and then the coach is like, "All right, go play." But if the doctors told him he's fine, which I don't know, speculation, but if the doctors told him he's fine, then whatever. It sucks for Waddle though. I hope he's not hurt. But that's sports, especially football. You know. But I mean, your boy on the Ohio State side is playing. Justin Fields, he's hurt too. He was playing. So
Want to see my boy?
I don't know.
Trevor Lawrence is my boy.
That's true.
Because Urban Meyer is going to come and just fuck up the whole.
I think he might. He wants to.
Ooh, I'll sink Shad Khan's $1 billion yacht.
Have they interviewed him yet? I know he's like tops on their interview list.
So he's been there 3 or 4 times. There's a guy in the Jaguars group who likes to. He knows the company of which Urban Meyer travels with private jets, and so he's always looking at the Columbus. And yeah, so from that and what a lot of the insiders, it matches up. It really does.
Right.
He put something out on last Friday, saying, they're probably meeting at 8:00 because it had them getting in. And sure as shit, they met Friday morning on Shad Khan's yacht per Adam Schefter. So yeah, he's been about 3 or 4 times now. And it came out in the report that when they met on Friday, that it wasn't the first time that they'd been in communications for a while now. So he's been to Duval about 4 or 5 times now. It's more than likely going to be him. They're just working out, 1, his contract, and I feel like 2, Shad Khan wants to see what kind of coaching staff, because it also came out that he was putting a staff together. Shad wants to see what kind of coaching staff he's going to come up with, and then he'll make his decision, because Shad came out saying he's going to have way more insight
impact
on the football operations, and I'm cool with it. He's a businessman. He doesn't make bad decisions. So if he has people in his ear that talk football and know football, he can learn football. He's a brilliant man. He knows how to make the right moves. So I'm excited to see what happens. Unless we get Justin Fields first, then I will. Oh God, I don't even want to say it. because I could be arrested.
I hope that doesn't happen. Trevor Lawrence is the clear number one. Unless they're taking a non-quarterback, but they're going to take a quarterback. So
how stupid would that be? Like, think back. Who was another quarterback in the Andrew Luck? Nobody even knows who another quarterback was in the Andrew Luck draft because he was the guy. And that's what it's going to be 8 years from now. Nobody's going to think about Justin Fields or Zach Wilson. No, nobody's going to think about these cats.
I'm sure there are people from Andrew Luck's draft. Colt McCoy, wasn't he Andrew Luck's draft? I don't know. Yeah. Just get the right pick, make the right pick, and do your thing. The first 3 picks are all going to be awesome. So big ups to you, the Jets, and whoever the hell, Falcons. I don't know, whoever the third pick.
Dolphins.
The Dolphins. So they're all going to get really good players.
Do you think the Dolphins should, if the Jets do decide to stick with Sam Darnold now that Gase is gone, if the new coach comes in, decides to stick it out one more year and doesn't take Justin Fields, do you think Miami should go with Justin? And
absolutely not. Not if Devontae Smith is available. Take that boy. Put him with his quarterback. Tua was his quarterback, and let them see what they can do. And then if Tua sucks for one more year, then.
Did you hear Deshaun Watson is down to get traded to Miami? Only
Yeah.
if they give up Tua?
Yeah, it's a Tua for Watson and then some picks trade.
Yeah. The hell is that? Like, I want to leave, but I want to leave you guys.
Well, he's got a no trade clause, so he can do whatever he wants. But I don't know why he would be scared to compete with Tua. He's way better than Tua. Just be like, sure, keep him on the team. I don't care.
Yeah. But I feel like the way it came out to say, like, he wants to leave, but he also doesn't just want to leave. Like, he doesn't want the Bill O'Brien he doesn't want to get left and then leave the Texans with a bag of chips. So,
especially since JJ Watt is like, he's come out and he said, I'm not trying to waste my last couple of years. Like, we are still trying to win. We just suck. But he said that, I think, last year when they lost a bunch of games. He was like, we're not trying to lose. Like, I'm not about rebuilding.
Yeah.
So, and I saw when Watt was like apologizing to Deshaun Watson after they got eliminated from the playoffs. He's like, I'm sorry that we wasted another one of your years, bro. So I'm sure Watson doesn't want to stab his teammates in the back. He doesn't care about the coaches in the front office, but he doesn't want to stab his teammates in the back.
Hey, man, shout out to him to have the balls to come out and say that and try to get it done.
And he hasn't like been mean about it from what I've seen. Like, he said he wants out. He said he's going to use his no trade clause unless you kind of do what he wants, but that's why the no trade clause is in there. That's fair. Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. Shout out to him. All right. So let's take a quick break and let's talk about our sponsor, Manscaped. Manscaped is here to help you shave your balls, point blank. That's how we do it. And they're good. They're good at what they do. They're good at what they offer. And you've heard us a million times, but Manscaped will help you. They're the best for your junk.
Bro, and it's about tax season. You're about to get a little bit of extra money.
I was trying to think of a thing to think about. Tax season's a good one. I didn't have a good little intro for it.
Bro, I got you.
Yeah.
You're going to get a little extra money. Some of you might still be waiting on the first stimulus and the second stimulus. So that's
a whole bunch of extra dollars
in your pocket coming with the taxes. Why not spend $150, $160 on the best package for your package? That's the perfect package 3.0. It comes with a lawnmower 3.0, the crop preserver, and the crop reviver, along with an awesome leather bag. These beautifully created boxer brief shorts to cover.
Wearing them again. A week later, I got a nice rotation. I was wearing them last week.
That is amazing. Hopefully, you haven't been wearing them all week long.
I said rotation.
But yeah, it's literally it's the best package for your package, bar none. Every product in there is the shit. I'd say other than the cologne, only because it smells just like everything else. It's not going to catch the eye of somebody. I don't feel like it just smells clean. You smell refreshed.
I've been told I smell good a couple times though.
Hey, well, then retract that last statement.
I don't know if it catches their eye, but they're like, "Hey, you smell good." I'm like, "Yeah," but that could be the cream. I don't put the cream up here, but that could be I didn't want to be like the cream. You can't see down there, but it could be the cream. It could be the spritz. It could be the cologne because they all smell the exact same, but they tell me I smell good, so I'll take it.
Hell yeah.
I also have the body wash, smells the exact same, so maybe it could be anything, but I smell like Manscaped for sure, but it is the best. And even if you don't want to spend that kind of money, the Lawnmower 3.0 by itself is worth it, and you will see how worth it is, and then you'll be mad at yourself for not spending the more money, but we don't get paid by how much you pay, so buy the buy whatever you want, but it is the best razor, and that's what's going to get you going. But the kit is amazing. Still laid out everything that they give you, and it's really good. So go check it out. Use our code no scrubs, all one word, at manscaped.com, and buy anything you want. The code works on anything. It's 20% off and free shipping. Go do it. It works. It's worth it. Use a little bit of your tax return on that. The rest of your tax return on the Xbox Series X and 2K21, and look us up.
Pay off your debt.
And we'll ball. That is your debt. Your debt to society is to get an Xbox Series X.
I got to do it, babe.
That's your debt. But yeah, so head over to manscaped.com, use the code no scrubs, all one word, at checkout, and you'll get 20% off and free shipping. And then with the perfect package, you get all that free gifts as well. Manscaped, your body, your balls, and your girl will thank you. That's not the way it says, but whatever. Or your guy, whatever you're into. They'll still thank you. It'll be great.
I saw on McAfee earlier today on his show. Oh, we should probably stop talking about other pods and shit. But
we should probably stop talking about Manscaped too. But whatever, we still do it.
But as they were doing the episode, since they have all their fancy visuals and have 10 people that they pay to do all their shit,
right?
They had this episode is sponsored by Manscaped on the bottom of it.
Oh, nice.
And then it had Pat McAfee do the suck it, and it just slid across and made it disappear. He's like, flah! It was awesome.
That's awesome.
I was like, yo, that's probably the coolest little.
Nice.
This is brought to you by in the world.
If you guys are good with video editing and would like to work on a podcast for free, write us at noscrubsports@gmail.com. We'd love to have you lighten up my screen a little better, because clearly I don't know how to do it.
Get my man a spot so he's not hurting his buttocks.
Oh no, I moved the computer chair over here.
Oh, my guy.
It's so heavy. The computer chair is so heavy. I'm a lazy fuck. It goes from like right back there, and it's a carpet, so I can't really roll it. Like pick it up, but I did it because my back is, I can't do it without the chair. All right, so let's talk about the NFL playoffs. Round 1 happened. I think we were right on most of our stuff. Even the upset picks that Seal said with the Browns came through. I said the Ravens for sure. I don't remember what Seal said, but we came through with a lot. But let's talk about them. Let's see what happened. Let's just go real quick on what happened. What was the first game? The Bills and the Colts. So the best game of the weekend was the first game of the weekend. And it was early as shit for me, so I didn't even catch the first half. But I tuned in, and it was a close game, so I watched the end. What do you think about your boy Josh Allen? We both said that they might be the scariest team. Their defense, though, is not scary. They let Phillip Rivers do their thing. But Josh Allen, hey, he's a good dude.
He's the truth. Josh Allen is the truth already. Third year in the league? He's producing. And that's another reason why I think in the offseason the Jaguars should get Tyrod Taylor, let him start a little bit. And then because it always happens. When Tyrod's on the team, the next quarterback is probably going to be the truth. It's just usually how it ends up. But, yeah, I believe in this guy. I don't believe in their defense so much. And I am a little scared of going against Baltimore because they do have weapons. He's going to need a good second and a half to get shit going. And it's a great matchup both ways. He's going to have his legs to go up against Baltimore, and Baltimore has that hellacious secondary too for when he is on the run. If he slips up just a little bit, Marcus Peters is going to be right there waiting on it.
That's true. But yeah, that defense is so rough, but Lamar Jackson's going to need that because he didn't really look good against the Titans either, but the Titans blew it a couple times. The Titans could have been up 3 touchdowns like that, and they weren't. And then eventually Lamar Jackson got his legs under him and literally his legs under him. He still wasn't doing all that great, but
yeah. And going into this next matchup, I think the Ravens probably feel a little more confident that at the end of the Colts game, what was it, a 3-point victory? They gave up. They should have had 3 points on the board when they went for it.
Right.
And for some reason didn't let Jonathan Taylor go right down in between the tackles and get it done. And they didn't went for it on 4th down. No points out of that when they should have at least got 3. And then going for the 2-point conversion twice and not getting one of them. That's 5 points. That's the game. You win by 2.
Yeah.
Move on to the next round. And you got to think that Sean McDermott is over there thinking about that and preaching that to his team. Like, look, guys, yeah, we won, but we really lost. Like, we scratched out of there. They're probably not as confident, which means they're going to work extra hard this week. And the Ravens are probably still in Tennessee stumping the fucking logo somewhere.
And the Ravens believe in their kicker for what it's worth. They will be taking the 3 points anytime they have to.
all day long. And everybody in that bar was so shocked when Tuck missed that, what was it,
Oh,
47,
yeah.
48 yard?
Yeah, that was crazy. So we'll talk about those matchups like that. I like the way you did that going right into the Ravens. So what do you think, the Bills or the Ravens? This is going to be a pretty good game. Um, I will say that the Ravens have to be more confident watching this game film. Hopefully the Bills, for them, fix this defense, but I think Lamar is finally getting confident, finally getting that bad juju off his shoulders. And in the second half, he's going to just keep rolling if the Bills let him. And I have the Ravens winning.
Okay. I got to give it to the Bills. The Ravens had a huge chip on their shoulder coming into this one, and you could tell everybody on every single play. Blocks went all the way until the whistle. Like they were ready to play the Titans. They were ready to stomp that logo, dance on that logo. You know what?
Unity, Seal. It's about unity.
I do want to retract my statement. I was pissed. I did not like it. I thought it was stupid. I told you I'd have the whole team doing up downs all night long. We're just doing up downs. Lamar not going to shake his hand. But after I didn't remember that the Titans and all the stuff that happened with Harbaugh going out there, it was what, 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
And having to go out there and tell them to get the hell off of our logo, like what the hell are you doing? You don't have team meetings on our logo. And like Lamar said, he didn't know about it. They figured it out after the game. They weren't even out there for it. That's extremely disrespectful. Like try to do it behind our back. So yeah, no, I don't have any respect for him. There's no reason to shake hands, and I'm down for that. Like fuck you.
I'm never down for dancing on the team's logo though. Like
no, yeah, that's fine. I didn't like that part. I get it. I just still don't like it, but I'm not so pissed off about it. I understand it, but I'm not making you do up downs, but I'm letting you know. Hey, we're not doing that again. That was
the only
cool.
time you dance on that midfield logo is when you're holding the Super Bowl trophy in the parades with you, or the stages out there.
Exactly.
That's when you dance on the logo. That's what I'd tell him. I'd have said, I'd have been like, "Was this your Super Bowl? Are you done? Did we win?"
Stomping the yard. It was
Job's
crazy.
Not finished.
It was extremely disrespectful. And Marcus Peters did say that. Somebody in the interview afterwards, one of the reporters asked him, "How do you feel like you did this season?"
Right.
He said, "I feel like we're not done." He was like, "Well, how do you?" He said, "I feel like we're not done or we're not finished or something like that."
That's ever since Kobe said that. That is now the
So
thing.
even though he led his whole team, he didn't really dance on it that much. He hit the greedy and ran off, and then you see people sitting down and then stomping the yard.
Yeah.
But hey, he did it, but he still got the mindset that we're not finished. He didn't just come there to stomp on Tennessee's logo. He wants to go next week and stomp on some Bills logo, maybe. Who knows?
So you have the Bills in this game, though?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, so the other AFC matchup, we don't have anything to talk about with the Chiefs as far as last game because they won, but they get to face the 7-seeded Browns, who came out and wanted to just stomp Juju Smith-Schuster into the ground, and that's what happened. Baker, when you fire Baker up, he can actually play. He does not play all the time. He doesn't have the greatest regular seasons games, and I just think it's because he's not fired up. But even way back in Oklahoma, when he had to play Texas, he was fired up. When he played Oklahoma State, he was fired up. And now in the NFL, it seems like when he gets fired up, he's ready to go. And I mean, he showed his leadership. I loved what Baker did. That game was amazing.
Did you see what he said in the post conference?
No.
He said he woke up feeling a little dangerous.
Nice. Yeah, you're a little blurry there. Are you going to do the whoop, whoop? Nice. Yeah, so the team clearly believes in him and backs him. So he's everything that Johnny Manziel was supposed to be for these guys. And I think he's just a better leader, and that's part of it. He has about the exact same skill set as Johnny Manziel, but he's a better leader.
And I came out on last week's episode saying I don't think it's going to even be that much of a game. Little did I know how fucking right I was going to be.
First play of the game, it was over.
I did not expect it to be a 28-point first quarter. I did expect Pittsburgh to come out fighting in that second half and make it a game for sure. But damn, that was awesome to watch. Sorry, Eddie, I hope you're not under this, but as far as my experiences go, I have to say Steeler fans fucking suck. Who are you rooting for tonight? I don't think you were rooting for Ohio State. I think we're rooting for Alabama because we want to lose to the championships like most teams do. When you lose in the
Right.
playoffs or when you lose the last game that you probably could have gotten into the playoffs, hey, let's just hope Bama gets in and wins so we can say we lost. Not these assholes. You heard the lady last week, one and done. She didn't show her face, unfortunately. I was so wanting to see her in there. But even after the game, all you hear out of everybody in the bar and all over Facebook and everything, oh, that's why your ass is going to lose to KC. Go, bye. Huh? Yeah, that's fine. Bye. We're going to be sitting there watching the
Even
game.
the players. Did you see Chase Claypool?
Nah.
He
Oh,
said,
actually, yeah, I did.
he was like, yeah, they played a
I
great
did.
game, but I mean, they're still going to get clapped next week. So whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, what? All right. Like
that. No, they suck. But I think it's going to be a better game than it would have been if it would have been the Bills, right? The Bills would have had to play KC.
No, the Bills
no?
are the number 2 seed.
Oh no, the Ravens
would have had to play.
KC. Yeah. So I feel like it's going to be a better game with the Browns playing Kansas City than it would have been with the Ravens.
Huh. Okay.
Bro, that Browns defense is jacked.
And the running game is stepping up, man. I mean, they are Chubb and Hunt. They have
Chubb looked ridiculous.
Absolutely ridiculous. So let's go back to the Steelers game for just a second. So the Browns were trying to be the Browns. They lost the momentum. The Steelers were coming back, and Eddie, for what it's worth, Eddie has been on the fire Mike Tomlin train for now about a year and a half. Yeah. But it's 35-23, and they get a 4th and 1 at the end of the third quarter. The clock stops. They come back, and he decides to punts it into the end zone. So they really only netted like 18 yards from the punt. What do you think about that decision? Do you think Mike Tomlin's old school strategy is just not going to work in the NFL anymore?
Yeah. When I saw that play, I laughed, obviously, because not even old school. Back in the day, you would probably see it more. You see it a lot still today. But as a Jaguar, you used to see it a lot. When you're in that 5, 6, 7 yards out of the field goal range, you're going for you're trying to either get to the first down on a 4th down play, or fuck it, we're chucking up 30, 45 yards down the field and just pretty much throwing an interception and having a punt.
Yeah.
More or less. And it just a deep post always happens. That's the play you call. I'm laughing in my head wondering why that's not happening. But hey, yeah, Steelers going to Steelers.
I just think he doesn't really go for it on 4th down. It doesn't seem like that's just not his style, but that was clearly you had the momentum. If they would have got that, I could have seen the Browns collapsing and just kind of losing it. But it didn't happen. The Browns didn't collapse. They came out and they scored on the next drive. So
did you see Juju sitting there dancing around?
After? Like when they were losing?
No. Yeah, while they're losing, they're driving down the field. Important shit, biggest game of the season.
Yeah.
And it's not even in the huddle. It's not during a timeout. He's literally walking out of the huddle, going to get in his fucking spot. Yeah. And he's dancing around. And Ben hits his cadence. Sit. And he gets in his – I was like, yo.
Yeah, Eddie wants him gone too. He said he's fine with dealing with like an Antonio Brown kind of talent when you have the diva and stupidity, but not a Juju talent. Yeah. So, yeah. Sucks to be the Steelers. Do we see Big Ben again, or does he hang up the cleats?
Yeah, I think it's done, man. I really do. I think him and Marquise ride away into the sunset together.
Watching that first play when Pouncey threw it over his head by about 10 feet, Big Ben was not going on the ground. He had plenty of chances to either kick it out the back of the end zone or get on it and just take a sack. He just stood there looking at it like it was a grenade or something. He was like, I don't know. Connor will get it. Don't worry. And then Connor couldn't get it either. And at that point, I was like, oh, he's
How about
done.
Him too. I mean, you got to kind of, as a fan, you got to kind of feel shitty right now. Like 2 years ago, you thought these guys, James Conner and Juju, were going to be the guys that got you to
after they got rid of Bell and Brown, and you were like, oh, they kept the right guy.
Yeah. And then they're both just But yeah, man, and even you could see on that play, Marquise was trying to get over to help out. I guess somebody wasn't starting or some shit happened.
Yeah.
He was trying to get over to help out. And just the fact that they both sat there after that game for a while and got up and walked off together, and they're sitting there crying, you got to think like that. That's it. That's it. Or they're sitting there just being like, dude, do we come back? Like, are we really going to let this be it? And they just sit there and soak that up until one of them tells the other one, like, fuck it, one more.
Let's run it
And then they
back
go
one
to the
more time.
tunnel. Yeah.
No, I can't. I'm with you. I think there's no Pouncey, there's no Ben, there's no Tomlin. I think it's time for the Steelers to rebuild. Sorry, Eddie, you have had a long run of non-rebuilding, but
Long.
the Browns are now a better team than you guys. So you gotta throw in the towel at some point. And the Red Wings had to do it. All the great
Even though
teams
your
have to do it.
record
So.
doesn't show it, paper looks great. Paper, you guys had a pretty damn good year. But the eye test, the real life, you guys are probably the third best team in the division, and that's going to be that way for a good 3 or 4 years now. I mean,
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield's the oldest quarterback left and on the AFC side of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, and 2 of them are in your division. Yeah. Probably not going to be up there fighting for the next couple years. So why not try to rebuild, get some draft picks?
Get it going. Hey, I mean, best of luck to you, Eddie, but we're happy to see the Steelers go down. We have jumped on the Browns bandwagon as soon as Baker Mayfield got drafted. Me and you both came out. We were a little behind, but we got it right eventually. Eddie has given me a lot of shit about when that draft happened, and we both called because we were all three doing the pod at that time. We both said that's a huge pick for them. The Browns will be there.
And do you think it's really got to do with just him maturing a lot more this year and the fact that he has to maintain such a huge household? I mean, you've seen the commercials. His house is fucking big.
It's massive.
That's a lot of responsibility, a lot of stuff you have to keep after, which will
you saw all the groceries he had to buy for this place.
Make you become more mature. And the fact that he had to keep coming in and out of his house, to get
because his girl can't remember anything.
Teaches you patience. Like I feel like him acquiring such a huge house was able to help him this year and help the Browns win some playoff games.
Sure. That's what we'll go with. I think it had to do a lot with the coaches not being bad anymore. Stefanski, I know he wasn't there for the game, but he's a much better coach than the last 8 that they've had since Baker's been there, I feel like. So good on them. But now let's get to the game. So the Chiefs and the Browns, you think it's going to be close? I'll give you first dibs. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I think Kansas City is going to win. But if at any point in time in that first half, Kansas City seems stagnant, look for Cleveland to be up. I mean, in that second half, I feel like Kansas City is going to Kansas City. I love using that phrase now. Juju sucks. But they're going to Kansas City, and they're going to come back. They're going to put it in the drive and get going and score 28 points on 4 straight possessions. Not even getting turnovers on the other team. Just for some reason, their defense is going to click.
Figure it out.
Stops, and their offense is going to go down 4 straight times and score. And they're probably going to go up 28-21. But, yeah, I'd feel like if they do pull that shit to where they're always coming out lackadaisical, just waiting on that third quarter play where they get to do their spin and then, all their fancy shit and then get going. Cleveland could end up on top by a couple touchdowns, 10, 14 points.
And if that run game is popping, it's going to be pretty tough to come back. But we know, like you said, the Chiefs can score in 13 seconds on one big Tyreek Hill pass. I have to give it to the Chiefs as well. I don't think the Chiefs are going to repeat as the Super Bowl champs, but I don't see the Browns being the team to knock them out of it. So I think they'll move on as well and get it done. But I think it could be a tough game. I think the Browns could make it tight. And I hope they do. I don't want to see a blowout or anything. And Andy Reid on a bye is not all that great usually, actually, right? So same with the Packers coming off a bye. We'll use that as a thing. The Packers are bad coming off the bye. They get to come off a bye. I wanted to face them. I said that I wanted to face them. And the freaking Seahawks couldn't get their job done, which we'll talk about right now because the Rams get to face the Packers. And honestly, if you are the Packers, this is probably your worst nightmare to come off the bye where you might be a little rusty. You didn't know who you were preparing for, so you didn't really get to use it to help prepare. And now if Aaron Donald's healthy, mind you, you got Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey and the best defense, at least in the NFC, coming at you. And it's going to be tough. And obviously Rodgers and Adams are good, but you can't rely on Adams to beat Jalen Ramsey every play. That's for sure.
Yeah. Best bet for the Packers is going to be that it's 4 degrees below zero. It's frozen tundra. You're not throwing the football.
Yeah.
And both teams are just going to be trying to pull a run game out of their asshole. And the Packers pull it out with a 12-9
Yeah, but
victory.
Cam Akers has been looking good.
Yeah, he
The
has.
Rams running back, just out of nowhere, really.
Yeah, especially this past game. He really helped ice that game over and
Yeah.
get the Seahawks out of town. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that's their best bet. They're probably pissed off that they're not facing Tampa. It definitely is their worst. And Jalen, him too. This past game it's just ridiculous in what he's able to do when has his mindset on one wide receiver.
Now you've gotten to see him for all of his years,
Yeah.
when nobody else was able to watch him because the Jags are never on TV.
Well, except 1 year when we
Yeah,
should have won to the Super Bowl.
That's true. But can he shut down Adams? Metcalf is not Adams. Can he fully shut down Adams?
He can, absolutely. But shutting down Devontae Adams is him getting 7 receptions for 80 yards and a touchdown. So that's shutting down Devontae Adams. He can't do that. Devontae's still going to be able to produce. He is probably you have D-Hop, who's just a fucking freak. You have Michael Thomas, who seems to have fallen off this year, but is also an absolute freak. Right. And then you have Devontae Adams, who is just a student of the game.
Yeah, and nobody talks about him because he's quiet. He just does his thing.
Every route he runs is the cleanest route in the world, and he fucks defenses over just with the subtleness of his shoulders, his hips, all the little things that most wide receivers don't do because they're physical freaks. And he's just able to work them, and he's also has the best hands in the league. So yeah, he's going to be able to get at least 3 or 4 good, nice chunk plays on Jalen, and then you're also going to have them motion plays where Devontae is going to be able to get loose as well.
And Jalen will just stand there. He doesn't like to follow receivers around.
Yeah, but it's going to be great. Yeah, and look for a lot of that, having Devontae slide into the slot and watch Jalen back up 3 or 4 yards and maintain his cover 4 gap over there out of nowhere. Just switch it up and stay on that side and not move to the middle.
Hey, maybe it'll get Rodgers. Maybe Rodgers will still try to throw that way, and then Ramsey gets to get an easy pick. But yeah, so I'll make the first prediction so that you can go first with Tampa Bay to keep my homerness until the end. But I think this is going to be Rodgers' toughest test. I think if he can get through the Rams, he's probably going to win the Super Bowl. That's what I think. And that's as a Bucs fan who's about to say that the Bucs are going to beat the Saints. But I think if Rodgers
I thought I was going first next.
I didn't make my prediction yet. I think if Rodgers can get through the Rams, then he's fine the whole rest of the way. But I'm not sure. If Donald is healthy, I haven't seen yet. I know that his ribs are hurting, but I can almost guarantee that he's going to play. And the Packers don't have Bakhtiari. It's going to be a problem. Aaron Donald's going to get in there. And Rodgers is great, but if you don't give Devontae Adams the time to make those moves, they're going to be running these little slants and stuff. And the Rams defense is built for that. That's why they have the pass rush, and then they allow short passes. You get 2 of those, maybe an incompletion, you're punting. And so it's going to be tough. The only thing, I'm going to pick the Packers, and the reason I'm going to pick the Packers is I think it's going to be just a shit show. I think it's going to be that 4-degree frozen tundra, and I think it might be like a 10-7 kind of game. And I don't think that Goff or Wolford or whatever that other guy's name is, if he's even available, can move the ball at all against them in the snow. Goff's never even seen snow, I don't think, so in his entire life. So I'm going to pick the Packers in a close one, a close, shitty, ugly game.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And they have on the Packers side Lazard and a couple other no-name guys that just got overlooked. And Rodgers loves those type of cats. And teams that have those weapons outside of just one dynamic receiver have been able to win against the Rams and score a hell of a lot of points against them in doing so. So I got to go with Green Bay. You have the MVP. You have the best wide receiver in the league right now. And you're more than likely going to have the best home field advantage that God can give you, literally. And it's going to be ugly. It's going to be a shit show. But, yeah, if anybody's going to score any touchdowns in that game, it's going to be Green Bay. And it's probably going to be the only one you see. But it's gonna be
Yeah.
fun to watch. I feel like.
We might get some defensive touchdowns if something crazy happens and there's a fumble because you get hit.
Speaking of fun to watch, this is a nice little transition into the next game. Did you watch any of the Saints Bears game
Nope.
on Nickelodeon?
I did not. I saw like little highlights from Instagram and stuff,
Dude.
but no, I did not watch it on Nickelodeon.
So the first touchdown came like
I was pissed, by the way. So I was pissed because that game was on CBS and Nickelodeon. I forgot that it was on Nickelodeon. My TV doesn't have CBS. My TV does have Nickelodeon, but I didn't have that. So, I mean, I went and stole it and watched it for free, but I had to watch the laggy, shitty version instead of what the cable that I pay for because I don't get CBS, and I forgot it was on Nickelodeon and I could have watched it.
Yeah, I have Hulu and I don't get CBS, but I was at work, thankfully, so I was able to watch it. And I have a TV that I always put on the Jags game. And I remembered, I said last week that I knew that there was going to be one, but I totally forgot about it at work. And then I got a highlight of the first Saints touchdown, and they did the slime cannons little CGI thing. I was like, oh, shit. And I went and turned it on there. But it was cool, man. They were going to the Krusty Krab celebrating the touchdowns, too. Field goals had SpongeBob in the damn uprights.
I saw that.
Yeah, I liked it. And it wasn't like Chris Collinsworth commentary of, they were in the 47 and they rushed 3, so there was a huge hole in the A gap for him to be able to. And then you have the 7-year-olds don't know what it is, but you have, kids. There was like some young person. I kept thinking it was SpongeBob, but it was some chick on there. And and it was kid-friendly audio and really not.
So they had different commentators too?
Yeah. And they weren't going too in depth into the lingo of football.
Right.
It was fun to watch too, man. It was really cool.
You could watch that with Coop and just have a good old time.
Hell yeah. That would and it's still football, so the grown-ups are still gonna like it. But it's awesome because I feel like I'd probably get a little pissed off because if we're playing the Texans for a playoff spot and they scored, they're going to do the slime. So he's still going to cheer.
Right. He's going to just cheer for the slime.
It's awesome, man. It's really cool. It gets the kids into it. But I feel like one knock on it, if they did have a game every single week and your kid loves it and really wants to go see a football game and then you finally take them
and there's no slime.
Where's the slime in the end zone? Where's SpongeBob?
Hey, people are liking football on TV already more than they like it in the stadium. So the quality, the camera angles, that Skycam thing gives you.
Bro, that 5K touchdown celebration Fox has going on.
Yeah, it gets up in there, bro.
That thing, it's sick.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I love it.
But what about the game? I mean, the Saints took care of business, right? They did exactly what we thought. But were you impressed? Am I biased? Because it was the Bears. They should have just did a lot more work, which we'll talk about somebody else that should have done more work in a little bit. But they didn't impress me against the Bears.
No, I absolutely agree with you there. That's another one going into it where leading into this matchup, Bucks, you got to be feeling pretty fucking good right now.
Not on defense, but we get Devin White back. So
yeah, Devin White's active now.
Because Heineke made us look like I don't know if it was Heineke or if it was our defense messing up, but
I'm telling you, it had to be
with Brady, man.
Whenever I texted you, like, man, it could really come back to bite you in the ass if you don't have a game plan. And it was announced 4 hours before the game started that he was going to be the starter. So yeah, you guys were probably able to pull something together out of the couple of game films that they were able to pull out of their asshole and put up for the defense to look at.
Well, even his start was with the Panthers, so it's same coach, but different system. Yeah. So that game plan wouldn't have done all that well, but he did play a little bit earlier in a couple of second halves.
Huge. That's really huge to have and have in preparation for. So if you've been preparing all week for Alex Smith and Heineke, whatever his name is, he's a hell of a lot more mobile, and his arm strength is bar none.
The way he was stepping into throws, man, he was cannon. It was nice.
And Alex Smith has never been known for amazing arm strength. But yeah, it was completely different quarterback out there. And that's definitely has something to say for the defense. But the way the offense was able to get going and the run game was able to produce, you got to feel confident going in. And then on the other side, you have the Saints who are like, holy fuck. We almost could have fucked it against the Bears.
So we have I just said that the Rams were the best defense, and I think they are, but the defensive line of the Washington, not Aaron Donald, obviously, but the entire four guys is probably the best defensive line as far as pass rush pressure. And Brady got sacked 3 times, but all in all, it didn't slow down our offense. It didn't stall our offense. Those 3 sacks didn't cause any trouble. So I don't think the Saints have as good of a pass rush as they have had in past years with Cam Jordan and all those guys. So I think Brady will have time to throw it. And if he has time to throw it, he's going to pick you apart. He's proven that for 42 years or however long he's been playing. So I'm not worried. If Washington couldn't rattle him, then the Saints won't rattle him.
Yeah, I agree with you there. That Washington front, that whole defense, really, they have a lot to look forward to, man. Yeah. I see I'm a little laggy over here. Turn off my Wi-Fi.
Yeah, shout out to Washington though, man. They fought. Everybody threw them out as the 7-9 team. Every 7-9 team, by the way, that's made the playoffs has fought. Seahawks won. There was one other team I think that either won or barely lost, and then the third one was Washington. And
pretty sure it was the Giants.
Yeah. But yeah, it
was awesome. And yeah, like you said, Brady loves to get pissed off when he gets put on his back. Loves to get pissed off. Didn't let it rattle him. I mean, it didn't really happen too much. Chase Young, I mean, he was everywhere, but he wasn't as I expected him to be.
Right.
Which is a huge testament to that offensive line. And like you said, you have to feel good going up against the Saints because it's a step down from that Washington team. It's not like it used to be. I mean, Cam, he's still.
I think it's the same players. It's just they're older now and slower.
Puts a little bit of fear in your eyes, but it's not every single drive. You're going to get 2 plays where Cam's just raising havoc. It's probably going to be 2 or 3 plays a quarter. You get all the effort from him, and then he's just getting sick of getting shipped.
Yeah. All right. So prediction time. I did say you would go first. I don't. Nobody knows what I'm going to pick, man. Nobody knows. So what do you think you got?
For the sake of my wallet, I really do think the Bucs have it. It's been rocky against the Saints this year. So throw those 2 games out the window. Let's look at these past 2 games that have been played by either team in this postseason. And the Bucs look hot. Their coach is making great play calls on Byron Leftwich's part. He's getting
Leftwich looks good. He's calling it right, man.
He's getting talk of head coaching jobs.
He's calling a great game. I don't know about head coaching or anything, but he
really is. He really is starting to get murmurs in the head coaching and all this shit. It's not obviously going to happen, but yeah, he definitely is getting staff talk at the very least. And I got to give it to Tampa. And I think it's going to be close. It's going to be a pretty not high scoring game, but I say 35, 28, 31, 31, 35, something like that. Tampa.
All right, sweet. Yeah. So the Bucs, obviously I'm picking the Bucs to win, but they played the Saints early on. Obviously, week 1, we played them. And then we played them again in week 6 or 7. So we had a lot of games to go. It was before our bye. It was before a lot of stuff. We were already done with them for both games. So it's good to get that over with early. And now that we are cruising, we're fine. The game plan is going to be thrown out, just like you said. And Sean Payton knows that. Sean Payton's a great coach. And he has always had our defense's number. He scripts the perfect plays, and we're always down 14-0 before we even realize what's going on. So if we can avoid that happening, Devin White, we need him out there. He's a captain this year. He needs to be out there because we saw Levante David is amazing, but we saw that he cannot do it on his own. He made a couple of big plays, but he needs Devin White there beside him to help him with the plays he can't get. But he is going to be there. It's going to be great. And I think we're going to win pretty handily. I don't think Tom wants to let Drew Brees right off into the sunset by beating him because I'm pretty sure Drew Brees is going to retire. And Brady wants to be known as the greatest, and nobody says that Brees is better than Brady except for me. I think I love Brees more than a lot of other people. But that touchdown number that kept rattling off makes it close, at least in that that category, and Brady's not going to let that go down, because if Brees beats him, throws more touchdowns than him, and then leaves, and then Brady passes him next year and goes on about his business, but it didn't matter because Brees won. He's not going to let that happen.
Well,
So,
do you agree 4 years from now, Aaron Rodgers is going to have every quarterback record?
I mean, Pat Mahomes is going to have them all eventually.
Well,
but,
eventually, yeah. I don't know if Aaron goes another 4 or 5 years. If he goes to 43, like old Tommy boy, he could shatter it a lot.
That's just how records do, though. They always move on. They always get passed by people. But I like that they Brady. I said Brees and then Brady. Brees and Brady, that they have gone toe to toe. I mean, Manning obviously was there going toe to toe with Brady, but he was older. He was ready to retire. He was doing his thing. Brees has always been there. Always been. Brees was the yardage and touchdown guy, and Brady was the winner. And now they get to go up against each other, and who's going to actually be the winner? And hopefully it's Brady. So, because that was the argument always. Brees was the stat guy, Brady was the winner. So
yeah, and I feel like this string is going to be huge, and Tom Brady's GOAT talk 20 years down the road when Pat does retire. And
right.
I feel like Brees and Manning are going to be overshadowed. I mean, I feel like they'll be on the Rushmore, but it's going to be A-Rod, Tom Brady, and Pat Mahomes at the end of it. And I feel like if anybody even does try to talk about Drew Brees, he'll be able to go back to the 2021 playoffs where he's like, listen, I went over to the NFC. That's defense, deep, great quarterbacks. Oh, yeah, no, it's just the Patriots over in the AFC, nobody else. So I went over to the NFC. I beat Drew Brees. Then the next week I went and beat Aaron Rodgers. And then I went and won a Super Bowl against Pat Mahomes. So
that would be amazing.
Who's really the GOAT? So
I hope he thinks like that.
If you don't think he's thinking like that, you are on crack. Did you see the portrait of him and the other guy who was 43 years old who threw a touchdown in the playoffs before?
Oh, yeah.
Dude was smoking cigarettes since the age of 10, probably. Like a lot of people back in the day were definitely smoking cigarettes at halftime. But holy cow, that TB12 diet.
Brady looks younger than us, dude.
Holy crap.
It's amazing. His hair gets fuller every year, too. He is looking good, man. It's crazy. And his arm strength is back. At the beginning of the year, people were like, oh, well, see, he doesn't really have the arm strength. And now it's back. So Breezes is not back, so I'm excited. I think we can beat him. All right, so what kind of shout-outs do you got before we get out of here? We're done as far as I'm concerned. I had a shout-out, and I forgot it, so hopefully I remember it.
Oh.
Do you have anything? Who's I going to shout out?
Everybody love everybody.
Shout out Jackie Moon. No, I had somebody to actually shout out. I'm sorry, whoever that was. Let's see if ESPN says anything. It was somebody I really wanted to shout out. Shout out to the Eagles for making the right call and firing Doug Peterson.
Yes.
So
I'm definitely happy they made the move before, like we thought it was going to be week 4 or 5 of next season and just totally waste a whole offseason for somebody else to get.
I was ready to put that bet down for first coach fired, though, because he was going to be gone. I knew it. But they made the right call, and I think they should get rid of Wentz, too, and just move on with Jalen and do their thing.
Yeah.
So props to them. I don't like Philly, but get rid of the scrubs. No scrubs allowed. That's how we do it. So because of that, be a stud, not a scrub.